They are now officially open and available for business. Yes, China and Iran have just officially launched their new strategic railway. And this is bad news for the United States because it will allow China to bypass the Strait of Malacca and transport oil from Iran to China without the Americans being able to do anything about it. In today's video, we're going to expose how China and Iran have just shattered the U.S. oil sanctions with the launch of the new strategic railway. It's gonna be epic, so make sure you guys stay tuned. Hey, what's up everyone? It's me here. Welcome back to my channel where we expose what the mainstream media doesn't want you to know. By the way, if you're new to the channel, make sure you stay tuned because I always keep it real, and I don't care about getting cancelled. So let's dive straight into the news article which was published by Al Jazeera. The article is titled Iran and China Launch $2.6 billion Rail Link. And the article opens with, Tehran and Beijing have inaugurated a new railway that links the two countries and could help Iran evade some sanctions imposed by the United States. So right away we can see that this is going to help Iran evade U.S. sanctions. The 1,120-kilometer, 700-mile rail line in southeast Iran connects to China's western region of Xinjiang. Construction started in 2021, and the project was completed in record time according to Iranian officials who spoke at the inauguration ceremony on Wednesday. So we can see here they were able to complete this project in record time. Clearly China and Iran want to get this done quickly because it benefits both countries, especially in regards to avoiding the U.S. sanctions. The railway cost an estimated $2.6 billion and was financed by China. Iran says it will help boost bilateral trade between Iran and China to $40 billion by 2025. And it will also help Iran avoid using roads and routes that go through countries like Iraq and Turkey, which has been the main route for transporting goods to and from China since the two countries established diplomatic relations in 1955. So Iran is basically saying we don't need to use other transit routes anymore, like Iraq or Turkey, to ship goods to China. We can now do everything directly. And that's going to save a lot of time and money. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi said at the opening ceremony, quote, "Developing relations with China is a priority for Iran." He added that the railway would, quote, "help develop the region and counter the U.S. sanctions on Iran," end quote. So they're literally saying the purpose of this railway is to completely avoid the U.S. sanctions. Raisi continued, quote, "We stress that Iran's borders are its point of strength, and we will not allow anyone to consider Iran as a weak point." So he's saying they used to consider Iran a weak point, but now there's no weakness. They can't be stopped. Chinese ambassador to Iran, Chang Hua, said that the railway was the first of its kind between the two countries, adding that it had been built with the latest technologies. He said that the railway will play a big role in expanding the volume of trade between the two countries and help implement the agreements made during Chinese President Xi Jinping's visit to Tehran in June. So the ambassador from China is also confirming that this will greatly expand the volume of trade between China and Iran. As we can see, this is truly a win-win situation for both countries. Now China gets access to more oil from Iran, and Iran doesn't have to rely on the U.S. anymore when it comes to exporting their oil. But wait, there's more. China has ordered 4 additional LNG tankers to bring liquefied natural gas from Iran to China. The move is part of China's efforts to secure energy supplies amid an economic recovery and before winter. So they're ordering 4 additional LNG tankers just for this one specific reason, to bring Iranian oil to China. And here's another article that came out by Reuters. The title of the article is China Orders 4 LNG Tankers in a Deal Linked to Iranian Supply. The article states that Chinese buyers have ordered 4 liquefied natural gas tankers in a deal that industry sources said was linked to securing supplies from Iran, a major producer that is exempt from U.S. sanctions. So once again, they're mentioning that this is to secure Iranian supply, even though it's exempt from the U.S. sanctions. But clearly the U.S. wants to stop Iran from selling their oil to China. But this new railway makes it nearly impossible for the U.S. to stop China from importing Iranian oil. In fact, the only way the U.S. might be able to stop this is by attacking Iran or China. But let's be realistic here. Would the U.S. really dare to attack either one of these countries? I don't think so. And remember, this all goes back to the Belt and Road Initiative, which was announced almost 10 years ago. The Belt and Road Initiative's main purpose was to connect China to the rest of the world, especially the Middle East. Now we're seeing the results of this initiative coming to fruition. China is successfully connecting with the Middle East, and they're surrounding the entire Middle East with railways. China has already surrounded the Middle East with railways. We recently did a video on this exact topic a couple weeks ago. Check out the video right after this one if you haven't seen it yet. But here's an example of what I mean. We have railways connecting China to Pakistan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, and Kyrgyzstan. All these countries surround the Middle East. But it's not just the Middle East. China is building railways everywhere. They're building a high-speed railway to connect the entire country of Thailand. China and Thailand are allies, and the railway will connect Bangkok to the Chinese border. The railway will be around 350 miles long and cost an estimated $5.6 billion. Construction is expected to begin sometime next year and be completed by 2028. Not only that, but China is also planning to build a railway in Saudi Arabia. Back in July, China and Saudi Arabia signed a memorandum of understanding for high-speed rail, and Saudi Arabia has plans to build over 2,500 miles of high-speed rail throughout the country. China is most likely going to be involved in this project as well. So as you can see, China is truly surrounding the Middle East with railways. It's a strategy that has been in the works for decades. But now we're seeing the results of this strategy coming to fruition. So the United States needs to wake up and realize that China is not going anywhere. In fact, China is becoming stronger every single day. They're economically stronger, militarily stronger, scientifically stronger, and technologically stronger. Just take a look at their space program. Last month, China successfully landed a spacecraft on the far side of the moon. The Chang'e 5 sample return mission successfully brought lunar samples back to Earth. China is one of very few countries that have the capability to explore the moon. China has also released their quantum computing development roadmap, which outlines their plan to achieve universal quantum supremacy by 2030. So they're aiming to achieve universal quantum supremacy within the next 7 years. This would make China the first country in the world to achieve this milestone. It seems like China can do no wrong. Everywhere they turn, they find success. It's truly amazing to witness such a powerful and innovative nation rise in the world. Unfortunately, the United States is doing everything they can to contain China, but it's just not working. The U.S. is becoming weaker by the day, while China is becoming stronger by the day. It's inevitable that China will surpass the U.S. as the world's leading superpower. The U.S. dollar is losing its value every single day, while the Chinese yuan is gaining value. Soon the Chinese yuan will become the world's leading currency, replacing the U.S. dollar. The U.S. better wake up and realize that this is happening whether they like it or not. I'm curious to know what your thoughts are. Do you think the U.S. will ever stop China from importing Iranian oil? Or do you think the U.S. is just simply too late? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Everyone, I appreciate you guys stopping by today. Be sure to stay tuned for more updates. Also, make sure you check out this video right here. I think you'll really like it. Again, thanks so much, and we'll see you in the next video.